We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences, so the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Just go to Indeed.com/Blue Wire right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Credit Karma is your evolved financial assistant, making managing your finances simpler and more tailored to you. Join us at creditkarma.com to start your personalized financial journey today and continue to grow with our innovations. Credit Karma. Evolve your finances.
Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos Committee podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of October 27th, 2024. Folks, we are through week 9. We have things to talk about. As always, I'm Jordan. With me tonight, I have Commish. Pitt Girl Beth is on assignment, and Arthur on the ones and twos. Pitt Girl, how are you?
It's Sunday. Happy Sunday. Pitt is 7-0. We're going to talk about that later, but I told Jens I wasn't worried.
I enjoyed Pitt Twitter. Just was it Candace Rock Candy?
Mm-hmm.
Like she just constantly starting conversations. Hey, did you know Pitt 7-0? It's just like her Twitter. Her Twitter is amazing. So
it has been great to see Twitter go crazy on this.
Pitt Twitter is having some fun. Enjoy.
I will say right now that I will get to attend a Pitt game this week. I have been credentialed to watch 7-0 Pitt.
That makes one of us.
Take on the Mustangs of Southern Methodist University. I'm excited to go. This should be a fun one. Also, we'll get to our preview on Tuesday, but it technically is the late game.
Yeah.
There are only like 3 7 p.m. games. There's one 8 p.m. Central game, and it's a Big Sky game. We're all going to sleep early.
Hooray!
Thank God. Oh, that Hawaii test.
Yeah, Commish, how are you, sir?
I battled this weekend on Saturday through. I went to urgent care in the middle of the day, and I got tested for COVID, strep, flu.
Okay.
So COVID, strep throat, and flu, and I'm like, it's none of these. Why are you doing this? Like, it's none of these. It's a sinus infection that's just killing the crap out of me right now. And so they're like, no, we got to test you for all these things. I'm like, and then guess who was right? Commish was right. It was a sinus infection. I was like, give me the damn steroid shot in my ass and let me be on my way. We got football to watch.
You can always tell a shot is going to hurt when they say it has to go in your ass. Like that is.
My left ass cheek is sore. But, again, I'm going to give thanks to the steroid shot too, because without that, I don't think I would have made the Hawaii test. Like I would have not made the Hawaii test without the steroid shot. I would not have finished that game. The steroid shot was just like, you're not going to bed. You're fucking hyped. You got a steroid shot in your ass at about 4 p.m. Central. Yeah, you're not going to bed normally. And that worked out. So I Commish toughed it out. And I'm here to podcast.
Commish, I do just want to tell you that while you were messaging us in the group message about the fact that you were getting a steroid shot in your ass,
yes,
I was working on things on my computer, and obnoxiously Pitt boyfriend came down and sat next to me and was rating over my shoulder. And Jordan had responded to you with peach emoji, syringe emoji.
Yes, I did.
And obnoxiously Pitt boyfriend was like, what? And I was like, Commish has to get a shot in his ass. And obnoxiously Pitt boyfriend was like, does he have rabies?
Have rabies.
I thought you could those in the abdomen.
I think you do.
I know, I've never had a rabies shot. I never want one.
It's not a shot.
Rabies, it's a lot of shots.
Okay, it's like a series of shots. All right, fine.
Oh, it is a serious series of shots.
I don't want that.
I've had friends who have done it before.
No, don't want to do that. No, I don't want to go through that. But no, this sinus infection normally hits when it's like getting close to fall. This is almost like every year this happens for me. And it's just,
some people get a weak knee, some people get scratchy arms.
Yeah.
Commish gets the sinus infection when fall is around the corner.
When like fall,
Commish's almanac.
Well, like fall's not coming, and it's been 53 days without fucking measurable rain in San Antonio. Yeah, the whatever the trees start doing at this time of the year, and then mixing it with wind and dust, every single year around this time of year, it's around like October, November. It's almost like clockwork. But whatever. Week 9 was fun.
The farmers used to say, when Commish starts getting the sinus infection, it's time to plant the sorghum.
That's right.
Well, I got a question, Commish. So you said you got a steroid shot.
Yeah.
Did you hit any dingers?
Oh, totally.
Excuse me. We don't use that term
we don't
here.
Use dingers. We don't use that. No.
This is an APA. We use APA style book here at this podcast.
We don't. This is a Chicago podcast.
Oh no! What a disaster.
Sorry, did I say APA? I meant AP.
You did, and this is a Chicago podcast.
First off, it is not an AP style podcast. AP style book listeners came out on Twitter and said that we don't use dingers. We use home run. We don't use disaster.
They got community noted on that, and they linked articles that they used with those words in it. It was fantastic.
What if we're talking about the Colorado Rockies mascot?
I mean, you got
his name is Dinger, has to, right?
I mean, you got it.
And Pitt Girl, we do use APA style here. We use parentheticals and only parentheticals.
No, those are awful for readability. End notes only.
Listen, every time I post the podcast, I type it into like this website that like capitalizes your titles for you. Mm-hmm. And there's like a couple different options, and I always just click AP because I'm like, oh, they have the AP poll. Like that's probably the closest thing that's like relevant to college football. So like any of these other versions want to come out with college football stuff, then maybe I'll pay attention to you. But I haven't heard anything from any of y'all. So
I believe someone in the Discord asked for a way to cite the podcast at some point.
Yeah, somebody did that, and then they cited myself.
Yes,
because they wanted to use Pitt Girl, but they couldn't they wanted to use like a real name, I guess. So I guess Commish was the real.
That's more real. Sure,
listener,
whatever. It's
DM
a title.
Me.
It's a title.
If you want to cite me, we'll talk. Just
DM.
My DMs are open. DM me. If you're a weirdo, don't DM me.
I have before used what someone said. I remember what I was doing in college, but we used to do this all the time where if we needed like a fact that everyone knew, but someone required us to cite it, we didn't want a place to put it. We just go outside and ask someone to tell us the fact. We call it it's a personal transmission or a personal statement, and we'd cite it as such. That's real nerd shit right there.
See, I think what you should do in that situation is you should buy a Cameo, and then you can you can cite like a random celebrity in your paper, and it could be like, wow, like why would this baseball player talk about like this random fact? And you just be like, yeah, I don't know, it's crazy, but here it is on video.
Oh yeah, I mean, Snooki definitely knows the capital of Moldova is Chisinau. Like that's really helpful. I cite her all the time for this. Folks, we need to talk about, I think the first thing we need to talk about, of course, is our beloved Kennesaw State Owls.
Hooty-hoo!
From 0-6 to 1-6. Why? They beat Liberty University at home on Wednesday night. This was so much fun. Best part for me was that they rushed the field, and Liberty coach, his name is, help me here.
Jeremy
he went
Chadwell.
from Coastal.
Chadwell.
Holds up the one finger. There's 1 second left on the clock.
The Mac Brown.
The entire group of students who has rushed the field then politely file back into the stands for one more play and then rush the field again. It was beautiful. It was magical. Kennesaw State, welcome to FBS. I feel like this is breaking through. Congratulations. It felt like they were going to turn the corner eventually. This was huge. Very proud of the Owls.
A big win. It was like I think they were like 27.5 point underdogs.
They were.
So that's incredible. When ULM beat Liberty in 2021 with Hugh Freeze as the coach, I think Liberty was like a 33 and a half point favorite, or 32 and a half point. So it was more, but it was just something along the lines like you didn't expect that to happen. But hats off to Kennesaw State. I mean,
they have only ever had one head coach for their entire program history.
Yeah, I mean,
their program only started in 2015.
Yeah,
they've made the playoffs in FCS several times. They've won the Big South several times,
like 3 times, I think. And then they moved up. They decided to go up, and it wasn't going well this year. But I mean, just hats off to the coach and the kids. I think it was Kevin Bohannon is the coach, or is it Brian Bohannon? I can't remember. It's a Bohannon.
The last name right, at least.
I think Bohannon is correct, but
Bohannon is correct.
Yeah, so there is just hats off to the coach, hats off to the players, hats off to the students. You got double the field rush. This was
and such an orderly anti-field rush.
And they were like, okay, we'll get off the field.
What more do you want to say about them?
We'll be back in a second.
There was no anger, there was no frustration, there was no rage. It was like, no, we'll just go back. It's fine.
We're good.
Can you imagine trying to get like an LSU crowd off the field?
Well, I think it helped that it wasn't like that 1 second, like it wasn't like they were in position to kick a field goal or do something with it. Like it was like, oh, okay, like we have to do this formality and
this weird pitchy woo-woo thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like it could have been different if it was something where like that last play actually mattered.
If it had been something where they were in a very good position to do that, yeah, 100%. But this again was very orderly, very great. I like this.
Shout out to Mike with CFB Campus Tour. That was his 134th FBS Stadium, and he got to rush the field twice. He got to do that twice. Also, Jason Kirk, the godfather of the Sickos Committee.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Godfather. Godfather Kirk got to rush the field twice. Also, so I mean,
I think he was already on the field, so I don't know if it counts as a rush, but sure.
I mean, he did it twice. It's fine. Like the first time, we didn't know what we were doing, and then they waited a second, and they were like, "Hey, we got this much better now." So,
other news: Rice University has fired their head coach Mike Bloomgren. Bloomgren's been there for a couple years. Rice is on the upswing. He left it much like you should leave camping sites, trails, and X's. He left it better than he found it, and I think Rice is on a good trajectory going forward. But that's me. Rice University, I am happy to take the reins. I will show you my dynasty save file with Rice.
I'm sorry.
Won national championships with y'all.
Hold on. Like, did you say like you leave X's better than you found them?
Yeah, you should leave trails, like camping sites, and X's. You leave them better than you found them.
Okay.
Jordan, I think broadly speaking, straight women tend to leave X's better than they found them.
I tried to. My exes probably would disagree with that statement.
My exes did not leave me better than I'll say that.
I think it depends on what better means.
Yeah,
it does depend.
Did you
on
have
what
a good time? Was the weather nice?
Was the weather nice?
It
was nice. You have good memories, but like, I'm more of an. No, there's a reason why we're exes. So, like, I'm not.
The other big news here is that Grayson McCall, former Coastal Carolina quarterback, now at NC State, has retired from football. He's going into coaching. get him that clipboard right now. We salute
Hell
you,
yeah.
sir. You got me through, Grayson, when you're listening to this, you got me through some really dark times. Mullets and Mormons might have been the highlight of that year, and I had a child.
Banger.
COVID.
I didn't have a child that year, but I was on so much pain medicine and like hating my life, couldn't walk because of spinal problems. That game was great. That game got me through so much. That was the game, I believe, that BYU just started driving east.
Yeah.
And they said, we will figure out where you're going.
It was just like they didn't have a game. They had a game canceled. Coastal was like, fine, we'll do it. And then like within like a week, they planned this game, in which the COVID year was so weird. But like that Mullets versus Mormon game was amazing. And I mean, just an all-time game. And Grayson, you know, really like legendary Sun Belt quarterback. Just the health issue and stepping away and then beginning a coaching career, which we hope you have a great long coaching career. And we will follow that with great interest. Just, I mean, we appreciate, I can't even speak right now. We appreciate your play on the field and what you gave to the game of college football. Just a bummer how it ended, but I mean, not everybody gets to write their own ending, unfortunately.
He is a college-ass quarterback that will be in that brain space for a long time. Whenever I'm remembering dudes, he will be there.
Yes, he will be a legendary remember some dudes.
An all-time guy to remember.
Yes. This week was a week of fakes, a week of huge comebacks, but let's start with our game of the week because woof. Well, let's talk about the lead into the game of the week. This is Rutgers at USC. USC 42, Rutgers 20.
Ish.
Okay.
Yankees, Dodgers, right?
So I want to say this.
Oh yeah, go.
The game itself, you know, both teams, like Rutgers is 4-3, USC was 3-4. The game itself and the circumstances of the game made it the Sickos game of the week for me because the reason that the matchup was ridiculous. It's a Friday night Big Ten game, Rutgers flying across country for a conference game. Like all of the confluence of things happening, which, and then you have all the events in LA at the same time. So like,
why are you trying to defend your position? Did someone criticize you?
No, I'm just, I love it, the circumstances of everything like came together. And that was the reason why we picked it. I was just explaining. Nobody's, I mean, if they criticize our game of the week pick, whatever. Just,
the way you were going after it felt like someone had said something and you were like aiming for him.
No, I wasn't. No, I was just explaining. Sorry.
Okay. The game of the week isn't always a banger, and that's okay.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about going into this because Fox was like, we're going to lead in with the World Series, and people are going to roll over into USC Rutgers.
Yes.
And of course, the World Series game 1 goes into extra innings. Yankees score a single at the top of the 10th. And then, of course, bottom of the 10th, grand slam walk-off home run. Beautiful.
Walk-off dinger. Come at me,
a dinger.
I said dinger.
Dinger.
Oh, okay.
The energy was just up high, crazy. And then we roll into like the second quarter of USC Rutgers, which was already going on because it went into extra innings, which I thought would happen, or it felt like it would happen.
In front of all 5 people who made it to the Coliseum through all the traffic?
It eventually filled out pretty good on one side. So I'll say that. But like nobody was there because of the traffic. Probably all watching the Dodgers game. And then when the Dodgers hit the walk-off dinger, yes, come at me too, AP. When they hit the walk-off like grand slam, Freddie Freeman hits it off. They're showing USC fans who are like wearing like USC hats and like Dodgers jerseys what occurred in that, not even really paying attention what's going on in the field.
They were all watching it on their phones.
They're all watching the Dodgers game on their phones while being at the Coliseum. And like whoever was in the Coliseum when the game started, you're in the committee. I don't care what it is. Matt Leinart was saying that this is a bad look. I'm like, Matt Leinart
is being such an asshole on Twitter about
Matt
this.
Matt Leinart, don't worry about that. There's so much stuff going on, and now you got a bunch of committee members in Trojan fandom that are there.
It was also a basketball game. There was a concert. There was a high school football game, East LA Classic.
Yeah.
Do you know who the halftime show at the East LA classic was at SoFi Stadium, a high school game? The Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Sorry.
Talk about
Man,
a
they're
halftime
still
show,
around?
baby. Yes.
The Black
Wow.
Eyed Peas are still around,
That's
apparently.
crazy. I mean, I'm a big fan of Fergie performing music in the LA area. So that's big for me. I do have a question about this though, because I saw people on the internet talking about like, oh, like traffic's gonna be crazy, and I'm thinking like, I don't like it's LA, right? Like, isn't that just LA? Like, that's like someone telling me it's gonna be hot in Phoenix. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
I don't
It's the
really.
natural
I mean,
state of things.
it's the natural state
yeah,
of
it's
things.
like people being like, oh, like there's gonna be terrible traffic in Los Angeles. Like, man,
when
if
is it
people
not terrible?
if people didn't want terrible traffic, they would not be living in Los Angeles. Like,
It was this confluence of evening rush hour too. If this hadn't been on a Friday night,
Yeah.
I think it would have been better off. But it was also that all these stadiums are within like about 8 miles of each other in a single line. Someone tried to mention that like, there's a big high school game, Mater Dei in Bosco. St. John's Bosco was also playing that night.
Yeah,
Number 1 and 2
and 2.
California. But
Number
that was
1
down
and
in
2,
Orange. That was down in Orange County.
Okay,
That's
that was
way
further
far
away.
away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I don't know. Like, I feel like LA has the most like the Southern California area, I guess, has the most just like places that I feel like you're expected to know, and I just have no idea.
That's
Like,
fine.
I feel like with New York City, right? New York City is our biggest city. Like, you got to know 5 boroughs, and then you have New Jersey and Connecticut, and that's it. Like LA, there's so many like just places. Like, there's so many damn places. Like, even like I feel like every other city, like I know the places. You know what? Like the Bay Area, I know you got Oakland, you got San Francisco, you got San Jose, and like there's some smaller communities in there, right? But it's all like, oh, like those are the ones you got to know, and like no one expects you to know some of the smaller ones. Like LA, I feel like the LA area, people just be throwing stuff out, and like I'm just expected to know where the hell that is.
Arthur, I just appreciate your description of the New York area as New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut, as though there is not the entirety of New York State. Because I think that's how New Yorkers think about it too.
That's about right. Yeah. Yeah. As soon as you get to like Albany, they're like, you don't forget it. You forget about New York City. Like that.
Yeah, but
That's it.
I'm just saying like the New York City area. Like if someone was talking about like, oh, like they're going this place, they're going that place, like
Hey,
you need to know like
Arthur.
you have the 5 boroughs, New Jersey.
I'm going to give you
Connecticut,
this. I'm going to give you this, Arthur. Just listen to the end of California Love by Tupac, and that's all the neighborhood you need to know in LA. That's it. You always got to know that Inglewood's always up to no good.
And watch Clueless, because Clueless helps you figure out some places too. She's in the valley, and she can get anywhere in the valley in like 20 minutes. I believe that's the quote.
Sure.
Hawaii 34, Nevada 13. I started the Hawaii test. I did not finish the Hawaii test.
I passed it. Yeah, I know when Jordan is up, like he sends one message and then like it's just radio silence. It's like I'm like, Jordan fell asleep.
I fell asleep with my shoes on. I left my shoes on to stay awake.
What the fuck?
Was that a party rule? Like if somebody passed out
Yes.
in a party with their shoes on, you can mess with them?
Their shoes were on, you could mess with them, yes.
Okay, yeah. So if like they took their shoes off, you leave them alone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a party rule. So like, you know, like if somebody passed out at a party and they still had their shoes on, they went too hard and then they deserve it. If they passed out,
people with their shoes off.
They took their shoes off and you know they were approaching bed, you leave them alone.
I don't know. I always keep my shoes on so I can show off my shoes.
Okay.
See, I see the logic behind this, but I never encountered it in part because I am an unshod person as much as possible.
I feel like this is like a guy's rule, like a dude's rock rule for parties. Like if the shoes are left on and you passed out, we can mess with you now.
I'm a barefoot pusher as much as possible always. So to leave my shoes on, it was a conscious effort of I'm going to do this because I cannot sleep with my shoes on. It would be so uncomfortable and make me feel so awful. I'm going to do that. And I still passed out. The interesting thing here was that Hawaii was just on it the whole time. They ran this game. It was great.
I don't understand how. So what the typical game plan you would think going after Nevada was basically they would just go and pass and air it out. But Hawaii did the complete opposite. They just ran the ball.
They ran the ball.
And Braden Shager, the quarterback, which is he's not known for his running. He's known for like his throwing. He had 175 yards passing, which is kind of a down night, but he had 120 some odd yards rushing and 4 rushing touchdowns. He had 2 of the tush push, which I believe the commentators on Spectrum and one of us said we're going to call it the brotherly shove.
Yeah, the brotherly shove.
Brotherhood, the brotherhood.
That was the commentators. I saw it from people thought it was mine because when I tweeted it, it was the commentators. It's not mine. I'm not that creative.
The commentators did that, and when he got his 4th one, Braden did like the not 1, not 2, not 3. The 4. He counted 4 in the end zone, which is great. I enjoyed Nevada trying to come back. They did get an onside kick. It just didn't. They have. I didn't realize like Chuba Purdy was at Nevada.
Yes.
Or Nevada or whatever. I'm just like, okay.
Hey Arthur, let's edit around me saying Nevada.
Ugh.
That's how you say it. No, there's a Texas city called Nevada.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And so I want to give a shout out to the director, or the Hawaii director of athletics, held up a Scantron and it said pass on it, like on the field.
King.
And
get it.
Again, like this is something that, like Reddit football created, and then we started tweeting it, and like Reddit CFB, they're happy that it's going. And I'm like, I feel like we just gotta like credit them for this, which we do on the podcast all the time. And I think we've done it on the timeline too. So it's just, I'm glad to see Hawaii embracing it. And it's so cool that they're doing a Scantron. I kind of want to make a Scantron shirt, but I think Hawaii would have to do that with their official logo for the Hawaii test.
That'd be good.
Hawaii football, if you're listening.
Yes.
Auburn 24, Kentucky 10. Game is interesting for basically 2 things. One, Hugh Freeze was ill and didn't show up till Saturday morning, which led to a great graphic, which just had a picture of Hugh Freeze that said illness, which, yeah, sure.
Yeah. You got to put a graphic on everything. Like I know Richard Johnson of Split Zone Duo was like, you don't need to have graphics for everything. I'm like, yes, you do. There needs to be a graphic. The more ridiculous the graphic, the better it is. Like you have to have that.
We love the mononucleosis one.
Like we have to do this. It's incredible. Like you have to have that. I want to just do the rundown here where for the whole game, like Kentucky basically.
Are we talking about the field goal attempt?
Yes, we are. All right.
Okay, so the field goal attempt.
So basically Kentucky gets their 10 points in the first quarter and they're done for the game. But and Auburn is just like Auburning, like full Auburn meltdown here. So Auburn gets in the field goal range with about 15 seconds left. And they didn't have any timeouts. So the worst thing that they could do was take a sack. Well, you see, Auburn took a sack. Then they tried to do a fire drill field goal, but they had 14 people on the field, and they did not get a snap off.
Watching the big boys try to squeeze in on the line together, obviously there are too many people, and they're like shoulder to shoulder bust up.
Yeah, no, it looked like AI generated. Like, when there's an AI generated thing, and it's like there's way too many people, but they're still like trying to squeeze it into the same frame.
The snapper, it looked like they had like a cutoff man for the long snap. Yep. It was like, I don't know what was going on there. It was ridiculous. They didn't even get the snap off. So it wouldn't have counted anyway, because it was so ridiculous. Auburn like put it together in the second half.
You know who else had 14 people on the field? Jesus. I don't remember how many apostles there were. Am I that close?
12. There were very well known to be
13.
13,
wasn't
right?
Judas was 13.
Yeah, I guess. I don't.
Mary Magdalene was 14. So there we go, 14 on the field.
Anyway, I would like to do a dramatic reading of a text from my dad.
Yes.
If that's okay. Obnoxiously Pitt Dad is an Auburn fan. So text from my dad, quote, "Time for Hugh Freeze to go. 14 fucking players on the field for a field goal? Wow. Who is coaching this team? Bring back Brian Harsin."
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
I have never heard those words.
Bring back Brian. Oh my God.
Auburn, all I'm saying is it might be the time to fire that motherfucker.
Auburn wins 24-10, by the way. But like there was
but at what cost?
At what cost? But they pulled away in the second half. They probably should have scored more.
Kentucky was just out of points. Kentucky hit 10 and they're like, I'm good.
I'm done. I'm done. I can't do anything anymore.
Oh, couldn't help. Couldn't possibly take another.
I wouldn't refuse. And then like the Kentucky fans are just like leaving. It's just like
they were Kentucky fans online are just miserable right now because we're back to that kind of Kentucky football that's just not fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's not murder ball. It's just like boring ball.
See, Kentucky's been hitting the portal for QBs for like the past 3 years. And like this year, it does not seem to have worked out at all with Vandegrift from the backup from Georgia. So I don't know. Again, when you do the transfer portal thing with the QBs, I mean, sometimes it works. Look at Miami. Sometimes it doesn't work. Look at Florida State.
We are still on fraud watch for Miami, just so we're clear. I don't care.
It's always there.
We're still on fraud watch.
It's fine. It's still there. It's okay. I'm still not sold on it either. But yeah. But Kentucky's hitting the portal. It's just not. It's not working. They beat Ole Miss, which is funny.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
really
it's
funny,
just.
But
it feels like. It's just a down year for Kentucky. They can still squeeze into a bowl at like 6-6, and they may wind up in like the Music City Bowl.
That's fine. Hey, you know what? That's totally fine.
Okay.
We have UNC 41, Virginia 14. Got palindromed, Virginia. The only thing I want to talk about this game, there's really only one thing to talk about, and that is the 86-yard thick six. That boy moved.
Oh, he stiff-armed Anthony Calandria. And then it was just like it was him versus like the entire offensive line for Virginia and just trying to go. And so it was like thickness versus thickness running down the sideline. And then the one block of like the Virginia.
I would like to talk about the one. I'm looking for his number real fast.
52, right? 52
let's
for Virginia.
52.
Yeah.
No, 52. Yeah, 52 for Virginia gets taken out by. I can't see the number on the UNC player's jersey. But that dude that we found out, it has at least 6 inches on him and 100 pounds. Mm-hmm. And UNC player is just like, you know what? I'm going to try to take him out. Threw his whole body against him and managed to get him down.
We love that.
We love that.
Yes. We love everybody trying so hard to make the thick six happen.
And they made it happen. That was probably our most popular tweet of the weekend. We had like over 30 some odd thousand likes on it.
34,000.
And I just put like the longest, thickest six ever or whatever. I don't know. Like it worked out. It was nuts. And again, the thick six was up for my shirt of the week. And just putting it out there, we got a lot of crazy returns and whatnot this weekend.
Next up, we have Colorado State 17, New Mexico 6. We thought this one was going to be pointsy. That was wrong.
We were wrong, but
what did New Mexico do to numbers? Tell me what they did to math.
Okay, New Mexico broke math here, and this is the Lord of the Spreadsheets, Kevin's Spinach Team of the Week here. It is the New Mexico Lobos. Spinach Team of the Week. New Mexico had 6 points on 453 yards.
That's so many.
That's so many.
The highest spinach rating.
Yards.
It's the highest spinach rating that Kevin has seen yet this season. So
spinchy.
Yes, I don't know.
You go to the farmer's market, you buy 4 grocery bags full of spinach, and it has turned into like a $50 size puck of veggies.
There was no scoring in the first quarter.
I hope you like a leaf.
There was no scoring in the first quarter. No scoring in this game in the first quarter. No scoring in this game in the fourth quarter. All the points were done in the Colorado State. It was a coast to victory. They scored 17 points in the second, and they didn't score anything in 3 quarters.
Oh my God!
The third and fourth. So they coasted to victory with a 17-6 win while giving up 453 yards. Colorado State only had 334 yards. New Mexico turned the ball over 4 times, and that definitely helps the Spinach rating.
And you know what? That's not the highest number of turnovers we saw this week.
No, it's not.
No, it is not.
Maybe SMU. We'll talk about you.
It's okay, Lobos. It's okay, Lobos. You didn't have that. You didn't have as many turnovers as other folks this week.
Utah State 27, Wyoming 25. This was a Utah State walk-off winner at altitude. That ball fucking flew.
It did. It was a great kick. That ball was just going crazy. Wyoming had a kick to take a 1-point lead, but then the walk-off was basically answered. They answered the walk-off. So, which I know we can't say that. We can't say unanswered points, AP style format. I'm sorry. We're talking all about this. I don't care. But yeah, that was a great win.
Iowa 40, Northwestern 14. Nothing of value was found here.
Okay.
No. There is a thing of value. There are 2 things of value. Number 1, it still feels weird to me that Iowa can score this many points.
Yes.
Number 2, Iowa safety.
Okay.
Yes.
So I got a theory about the Iowa safety here. So I was down 7-3 at this point, right?
Second quarter,
down 7-3 to Northwestern. It's not looking good. Iowa gets a safety at 7-5. This is the Mario star for Iowa. So like, Kirk France starts flashing. He's just like, look what happens to Northwestern after that. They punt and a half. Then they give up a punt return touchdown. Iowa gets another star. Punt, interception, fumble. Iowa hits 40 points. All right. They do give up a special teams touchdown to Northwestern, but the Iowa defense lights out. The star wears off eventually in that, but
I'm going to claim the Iowa offense scored all the points in this game because it was an 85-yard interception return. They did throw it to someone. It just went the other direction.
Safety, though. Also.
Oh, yeah, fine.
Jordan, can you set the Iowan with the corn cobs to the Mario star music?
I bet. Yeah, I can. Of course I can.
Yeah.
This game was 7-12 going into the half.
Yes.
And then Iowa had a 48-yard third quarter and then 28-point third quarter and then a 0-point fourth quarter.
It just, again, the star wears off.
I guess so.
It takes effect. And then they got another star with the punt return touchdown. But, that's what it was. And the corn man, Hawkeye Elvis said he was near the guy dancing with corn. And he has no idea how this guy smuggled corn into the game. And he was kind of worried about that.
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
I've watched Oz. I know how you get corn into places.
I mean, just imagine your security at Kinnick Stadium and you're patting down somebody and you find corn in their pockets.
Or are you just happy to see me?
Right.
Next up, we have Michigan State 17, Michigan 24. This was a chippy game. It's always chippy. This game was just, that's so much oatmeal. There's just so much pudding. It's so thick and gloopy.
Cream of wheat.
Oh yeah.
I do love the trophy that they play for, like Bunyan.
Yeah.
Paul Bunyan. I mean,
with the little pants.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. There's a Paul Bunyan trophy for Michigan and Michigan State, but then there's just the axe for Wisconsin and Minnesota. Like here you got a little Paul Bunyan trophy for Michigan, Michigan State. Then you have the actual gigantic axe that they play for Wisconsin and Minnesota. It's
what
great.
other parts of Paul Bunyan's lore can we give out?
What about the ox, right? We got it's a blue ox.
Babe the blue ox.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that might be a trophy somewhere already. That might be a D2 trophy or D3 trophy.
It could be. Just like a blue.
Also, Buffalo. They're blue.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a big blue bison.
They're a
bull.
Yeah.
They're a bull. Sorry.
Bulls. Yeah. The Bison are their minor league baseball team.
Houston 17, Utah 14. This is nothing of value was found here. I said this game was going to be unwatchable. I was correct. This was bad.
Cougs
These are
win.
two teams. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Walk-off winner. Big win for Willie Fritz.
Jesus Christ, Utah.
Right. Like, congrats. You hosted, you went to Houston, you lost it, and you only scored 14 in the process, and that wasn't enough for Utah. That should be enough for Utah if they're playing correctly.
I'm just going to say, do you know who the leading receiver was for Houston and how many yards and catches they had?
This number has to be disgusting.
Okay.
What is it?
It's Joseph Manjack the fourth.
Yeah.
Remember Manjack? Remember Manjack? Yeah. He led Houston with one catch for 28 yards and a touchdown.
Jesus.
Okay. These two teams have to. Okay. Yep. We got some work to do, kids.
Do you know the second leading receiver for Houston?
Nope.
It's Stephon Johnson with one catch for 21 yards and one touchdown.
This game was like being sunk in a tar pit.
That's sure it's football, I guess.
Houston completed 6 passes to 6 different receivers. There was not a receiver with more than one reception. And they won 17-14.
Beautiful.
I mean, that does sound like a way Willie Fritz would win a football game.
Okay. Yeah. No. Let's talk about something better. UConn 17, Rice 10. UConn has defeated the Owl onslaught. They have burned Parliament to the ground.
The American Owls.
The American Owls.
They're so early for Guy Fawkes Day.
Right? Kennesaw State's like, fuck it. Come on now. They're getting chippy. They want UConn.
State, Kennesaw State, you need to get bowl eligible and somehow sneak into a bowl.
I think that's impossible at this point.
Yeah, they are.
They're
also,
on that
it's their first year. Even if they could, they can't.
Well, I mean,
they're not going to get to 6 either. I think they can't get to 6. They're 1 in. No, they technically could, I believe.
They're 1 in 6.
Yeah, they're 1 in 5.
Okay, it's never good. Okay, never mind. It's not going to happen. Not what we're talking about. Yes, UConn, you need a 4th owl to finish this thing off. UConn is almost done with their home series where they play 3 on the road, 6 at home, 3 on the road. Yeah. They're about to leave the Rinchler Field forever for this year.
For this year, yes.
I mean, given the weather, that feels like the way to do it.
Maybe,
Wait, have they played UMass yet?
No, they play UMass on the road.
They play.
What? They played at UMass last year. What the fuck?
I don't know what happened.
They reset the series or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
No idea.
Okay, let's talk about the Thursday night game. Pitt 41, Syracuse 13.
Woohoo! I told you I wasn't worried.
This was never even in question. The record for pick sixes in a half, I believe, is 3. And so they tied the record. Because the game that it always comes back to, there are certain games, listeners, that are nexus points in college football history that keep coming up. And this is the Texas-Houston game of like 1990, I believe, maybe a little earlier than that. But it's a game that comes up because this game had one dude has like the interception record in that game. And there were 3 pick sixes in the 4th quarter. And it just comes up so many times in college football history. And yet again, this game fucking comes up. Also, folks, we actually have a complete box score from that game. And it's fun to go through. We're going to talk about that in the offseason. It's a fun game to talk about. Okay. Pitt Girl. Well, first off, Arthur, you were there. You were dressed as a Pop-Tart. How did it go for you?
To paraphrase the great Ricky Bobby, this costume is dangerous and inconvenient, but I do love Pop-Tarts. Yep. It was a good thing. I mean, people like to talk about attendance at Heinz Field. It was a good thing that the game was not super well attended because that would be hard to deal with that costume. Just like navigating around, but also then you're in your seat, and it's good to be able to sit where there's like empty seats behind you, so you're not blocking people with the big Pop-Tart. The Pop-Tart costume also, like, it's not designed to be worn sitting down. Like it doesn't bend the way your body bends.
Yeah.
So I mean, I basically.
Well, okay. Arthur, can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Were you in the viral tweet where there was a Pop-Tart doing a walk of shame?
No. There was no shame on Thursday night.
I know, but I mean, like, it was from last night. It was from last night. Did you wear it again to like a Halloween costume party?
No,
Okay,
I'm unaware of this video.
Okay.
But no, actually, what I ended up taking off the costume like when I was sitting in the stands, like for especially like the first part of the game. Because like I didn't want to, like block people's views or anything, and also like it was just like I wasn't gonna be able to wear it sitting down really. Once it got to like the fourth quarter, I just like left it on and just was standing up because enough people had cleared out. Also, like someone puked all over 229, so a lot of people left because of that. So I was able to just kind of stand up and watch the game without worrying about it. So, I won't wear it again to a game. I will say that for sure. Because it just wasn't it was funny like walking around. A lot of people didn't get it. And I also had the sign. I'll post the picture here, but I had the sign that said Pitt is bowl eligible. Dreams really do come true. And so a lot of like most people that saw it probably didn't get the reference. Definitely saw some people that did. I definitely saw some people where like I walked by them and like I could hear someone explaining it to someone else like after I walked by.
Which we love to hear.
Spreading the good word of the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
I had a lot of people ask me like, "Hey, like, can we take a picture together?" I said yes to everyone because I'm a man of the people. And
Pop-Tart of the people.
Yeah,
this is from the same guy who handed out signed pictures of himself at a tailgate.
I love the thing that he handed to my son. He signed the picture. He's like, "Please don't grow up to be a Pirates fan."
Did you meet up with the other Pitt Pop-Tart?
So I did meet up with him, but he had taken off the Pop-Tart. So like we met in the stadium, and he didn't want to wear it in. I actually he said they like like I didn't know that he was surprised that they let me in the costume. I was like, well, I just walked in, didn't just looked like I belonged, right? But
honor student walking my Pop-Tart uniform.
Yeah, exactly. So
hello there. I'm a strawberry.
I'll wear the Pop-Tart costume again when I hand out candy to kids on Thursday night. But apart from that, like I'm not gonna bring it to a game again. Because it was inconvenient. It was kind of a hassle. And I have a new costume to wear to Pitt football if I want to wear a costume again. So
it is Arthur's shark costume because the Pitt defense, bunch of sharks. Now, can I complain about something, Pitt Girl?
You may.
I don't think the Pitt defense understands the analogy they're going for here. The metaphor doesn't really hold up.
That's like, fine.
Sharks work every day. Sharks eat every day. Well, actually, sharks don't technically eat every day. They eat every couple of days.
It's not the point. Shut up, nerd.
The metaphor falls apart with the flimsy.
It gets the people going.
That's right. It's provocative.
It's provocative.
That's right. I'm just imagining, sharks in the Allegheny, the Monongahela, and the Ohio River now.
I am seriously considering, and I don't have an IKEA near me, but I am going to the Clemson game, and I am seriously considering ordering a blahage.
Yeah, get a blaja.
Just to bring him to the game. Just be there with my enormous stuffed shark.
I don't remember why I did it, but once I learned they were the sharks, I did make that picture of outside of Akron Stadium.
It's pronounced Heinz Field.
It's Heinz Field.
With, I believe I threw in left shark, baby shark, one of the street sharks, and I can't remember the fourth one, but I had all that on Jaws. And then Picker was like, "Can I get Blaja in there?" I was like, "Absolutely, you can get Blaja in there." So,
yeah, we need him. He's important.
Yeah, it is going to be funny though because like I said that the Pop-Tart costume was difficult to wear sitting down. So the shark costume, I'm wearing it now, like as we're recording.
It does look like Arthur. This right now looks like Arthur is streaming a dating RPG game and on Twitch and trying to get like listeners. That's what he looks like right now.
So the thing with the costume is that like I have like my shark fin and like the tail kind of basically sticking out of my ass. And so like I can like sit on something, but I can't like it Honestly, actually, it might be good. Maybe the shark fin in the back will give me more lumbar support when I try to sit.
Did we all see the Pop-Tart and Miss Tubby Mayo, the costume
Yeah.
Yes.
set?
Yes.
Okay.
Amazing.
From Patrick.
Friend of the program, Patrick Barron. He's at Blue Baron Photo on Twitter. He is the guy that does he is a silent photographer for Michigan and great U.S. National Park photographer, wildlife. He and his girlfriend, I believe, we'll say partner, went to their Friday night Halloween gig dressed. He went as the Pop-Tart. She went as, I'm not going to call it sexy Tubby because it's not like overly sexualized.
No.
It's just Duke's Mayo with like the Tubby hat on it. It's glorious.
It's very good.
It is one of the best costume sets I've seen in a long time. I don't know how she made the Tubby hat. It's so good.
It's styrofoam. I mean, it's phenomenal. It is incredible. Just work. And then there was like pictures of she was dancing to I can't remember what it was, but she had a tweet where she was dancing in the Tubby costume to like some like electronic music. Yeah, and I'm like, this is just it was great. Keep tagging us in all the Pop-Tart costumes. I think we had one from like Cal. We had
they were all over this weekend.
They're all over this weekend. Keep tagging us in them. I don't care. Like your Halloween Pop-Tart costumes, keep tagging us. We'll keep tweeting them. Keep it up. Love it.
So before we get off the Pitt game, I have a few statistics I would like to read, and then we can move on. So for the record, Honda McCord having some very serious transmission issues during this game. He ended up throwing 5 interceptions.
So I've never like been in a stadium where I've heard someone yell like a heckling thing and like the crowd like really responded well to it, right? Like usually it's just like some dumbass saying that, but so Pitt, they do this thing where they play Sweet Caroline between the third and fourth quarters. And there's like the line when they say like we fill it up with only 2, the crowd says or 3 or 4 or 5. And on the 5, I yelled 5 interceptions, and like it's the only time I've ever like yelled something and heard like a positive response from people, you know, like people were like into it, you know, like that doesn't usually happen.
What a vibe.
What else?
So relevant statistics on this front. 3 of these were pick sixes. That was the first time an FBS team had returned 3 interceptions for touchdowns since USC on September 3rd, 2022 against Rice. Only the 6th time since 2000. The last pick 6 by a Pitt linebacker was Servassier Dennis against Clemson on October 23rd, 2021. I was there for that game. That pick was amazing. It was a like pitch pick.
Okay.
And I was like, not even sure what had happened because it wasn't really a pick. It was just like, I mean, it was, but like just sort of a like pitch scoop thing. The real reason I wanted to read this are the next 2 points here. The last time the Panthers had 2 pick sixes in a game was November 12th, 2022 against Virginia. Picks by MJ Devonshire and Marquise Williams. What this statistic hides is that was the first play of the game and the second play of the game. It was 2 pick sixes in like 15 seconds of game time. It was amazing.
When pick sixes come together like that, because when you throw a pick 6, you get the ball right back. We didn't have anything that beautiful, but we did have Kyle McCord threw a pick 6, and on the very next like offensive snap, right, gets the ball back and like is sacked by the guy that just picked him off.
It was very good.
Glorious.
And lastly, this is for Pittsburgh internet people. Andrew Filipponi predicted that Kyle McCord would dominate this game. If you know, you know.
Also, your kicker, once again,
yes,
absolutely doing so well.
Ben Sauls is kicking on Sundays, folks.
How many in a row now was it?
Did he set like
14?
a record for Heinz field goal length?
That was like another game. It wasn't this game. It was another one. Yeah.
I thought he matched it, right?
He matched it. He kicked a really long field goal in this game. That was also a result of a Kyle McCord interception. Wow. So, you know, thanks, bro.
The pick 3.
But yeah, we love Ben Sauls. Better call him.
Just what a way to start the game. Pitt had 16 yards of offense in the first quarter, and they scored 17 points.
That was
83 yards and 31 points in the first half of the game. Pat Narduzzi saw God on Thursday night.
Dude.
It was tantric. It was eclectic. It was wonderful. Ad read, Varsity app, College Football Blitz. The only way to listen to stuff on Saturdays if you're out and about going to pumpkin patches or doing whatever now. I was out and about with friends on Saturday, and it helped me a ton to keep up with what the games were actually happening. It's College Football Red Zone for radio. Basically, they'll cut around the whole country to where the action's happening.
The local calls, they're so awesome. Like, you get the Homer radio calls on this stuff. It's great. Also, on the new car that I got, the Varsity app is like inside the CarPlay. So all I got to do is click that, and I'm listening to that when I'm going to urgent care to get a shot in my ass. It's great.
So if you check out our Twitter on those days, you'll see that we have a thread that we post asking for people to take pictures of what you're doing while you're listening to Blitz. If you respond, there's a good chance you might win a koozie. Check out our link tree as always for Twitter, on our Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky profiles for various discounts. Sign up for our Patreon. $5 a month, you get access to our Discord and extra podcasts as well. Our merch store, sickoscommittee.org. We still have those shirts up that are our Sickos Punts 2024 shirts. You probably won't get them in time for election day at this point, but you might as well get them. We have our YouTube, our Instagram, our Twitch, our Substack.
On the store, if you're not inside the Discord, there's going to be some special thing coming to the store, so keep an eye out for it. This is going to be.
It's very good.
This is going to be something that I've been working on for a bit to get this in the store. It is. I don't want to give it away, but keep an eye out for it because it's going to be. I feel like this is going to be the gift of the Christmas season that you would want to have.
It's going to be really good. I'm going to be honest with you. I will be ordering one.
Yeah, I got the sample already, and I'm like, yes. I was like, as soon as I opened the package, I was like, all right, let's go. Let's do this. And I'm still waiting for them to like green light it. So let's do it.
Shout out to Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go to places we refuse to go. And as always, Home Field, the softest, comfiest, collegiate licensed apparel. What are we wearing tonight, kids?
I have a Temple shirt on under my sweatshirt. It's just
Temple
cold
shirt.
in my apartment.
Minnesota. Oh,
let me sneak right past you. Is it over on this side?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, let me.
And folks, right now it's getting to be like jogger season where you can wear joggers like all the time.
No.
Get yourself some nice home field joggers. They're super comfy and cozy. I've been wearing them. It's been a little chillier. They're great. Use our offer code yes 3 ha's for 15% off your first order. And our Sickos hat showcase. We have a set of hats that we put on sale every week for 25% off using yes yes 2 hats.
I'm asking for one. I haven't got the go ahead for it, but I really hope it's this one. I'm gonna say it. I'm praying for it. It's UMass and Mississippi State.
Hell yeah!
Oh, we'll get to the preview because all of a sudden this one's a little more interesting.
Week. That's next week.
Coming
up this week. So I'm trying to.
I hadn't thought about how interesting that game. Oh no!
Right. Yeah, that all just clicked right. Okay, cool.
Forget one-size-fits-all diets. With Noom, you get a personalized weight loss plan that's tailored to your lifestyle. Have cravings? Food FOMO? Noom can help you lose weight while still enjoying your favorite foods. Noom's users love the flexible approach, blending psychology and biology to help you lose weight in a way that's sustainable for you. Plus, you can rest assured Noom's approach is grounded in science. They've published more than 30 peer-reviewed scientific articles describing their methods and effectiveness. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com.
Okay, kids, let's cover the rest of the week. Just stuff that is less. I mean, actually, all this is really good. Tulsa 46, UTSA 45. This game was so far put away at half. It was gone. Tulsa was down 35-7 at the half.
The Golden Hurricast had given up on this team and got old takes exposed this morning because it's like I'm just done.
That feels so good.
I'm gonna shut down the Golden Hurricast. I'm done. And the second half, I don't know what the coach said at halftime. I mean, really, just they're down 35-7 at halftime. UTSA is doing this. Whatever they want to do, they're doing this. And Coach Kevin Wilson is there. I'm sorry, is now the coach. It's his second year, and it's not necessarily going too great for Tulsa. And you hope to see some improvements in your second year, but they pull off this comeback that you kind of don't see it coming. So I'm just going to read off what Tulsa does in the second half.
Yes, please do.
All right. Second half, they get the ball, they punt. However, they get a scoop and score 2 plays later. Then they get a field goal. Then they give up a touchdown. So now it's 42-17. You think the comeback is over. No, they go touchdown, punt. UTSA gets a field goal. It is 45-32 now. Then they go touchdown. They take the lead 46-45, and they stop UTSA on the 50-yard line for the win on 4th down. They stop it. I just don't like Tulsa doing that is incredible. You kind of got to feel bad for UTSA on the other side of things, but Tulsa with this big comeback, it's totally unexpected and just a phenomenal win for Gus T and the Golden Hurricane.
UTSA fans are not having a good time this season. It is not going the way they had hoped the last couple of years. I think the most positive thing I saw someone say was, at least we'll get to keep Jeff Traylor.
Honestly, yes.
Not the worst.
No. It's their first year. Is it their first year in the American? No, second year in the American.
Second year in the American.
Well, I mean, Frank Harris, the mayor, is gone. And so it's like you got to replace a UTSA legend. And they lost a lot of talent on the wide receiver side of things. So they got to rebuild at UTSA. And hopefully it wasn't as bad as this. But unfortunately, this is kind of one there. Both teams are now 3-5.
That's a wild statement.
Yeah.
Right. So now we're just hoping for bowl eligible UTSA.
Cooper Lagasse on fire, incredible performance. Had 333 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. Also ran for 46 yards, which great performance.
Arkansas, a bunch. Mississippi State, not enough. That's all I got to say about that one.
There was one touchdown run where the Arkansas QB just basically shook the crap out of a Mississippi State defender, like a bunch of them. And I think Spencer Hall described it as a Looney Tunes ass run.
Yeah.
And then I had flashbacks to when I played flag football in like one of those, like, the NFL flag football tournaments you'd play in your city. And I was in the Mississippi State defender's shoes, and I got shook the crap out of that way. And I was kind of just like, yeah, football's not for me.
No, that happens.
But yeah, it happened. Sorry, Mississippi State. Way to go. Embrace the hog.
Oklahoma State 28, Baylor 38. Oh man. So I am now on the same page as a lot of folks that we listen to, talk to, that Dave Aranda should probably keep that Baylor job. Baylor's on the way up. I like that. Oklahoma State is broken in some fundamental way.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened here. It just Oklahoma State is still winless in the Big 12.
Yes, they are.
And Baylor almost kind of blows this one a little bit.
Not the first time this month Baylor's almost blown a lead too.
Yeah, they did lose kind of Hail Mary style to Colorado.
Yes.
But they didn't lose on the Hail Mary, they lost in OT. But yeah, so Baylor, it seems to be getting some signs of life. I still don't understand how they blew the crap out of Texas Tech, but whatever. But they seem to be slowly getting it together. I look forward to their game this week against TCU.
Oh God, that's gonna be
a mess. It's gonna be great though. It's gonna be great
with like the anger too.
Shout out to Nick Pants. You're gonna enjoy that one.
Yeah, Baylor Bears won it's their first Big 12 home game win since October 22nd, 2022.
Yeah, you kind of need this.
Also, the Bears have won consecutive games for the first time since November 5th, 2022.
Yeah. Dave needed this win Yeah.
Minnesota 48, Maryland 23. Minnesota wins this one. Doesn't matter. Goldie.
Yes.
Was dressed up in so many great ways.
All right,
what are your favorites, Commish?
All right, here we go. I just want to go through all the lists of Goldie, and maybe we can get a clip out of this for Hector. So Goldie the Gopher status. Here we go. This is what Goldie dressed up as for Goldie Halloween on the sidelines. First costume, witch, spooky witch, nothing crazy. Then the next one from Dune, Paul.
Goldie Al-Gaib.
Listen, Al-Gaib, Mahdi. Although the Mahdi got his cape stuck in the fucking sandworm at one point.
In the sandworm.
Sometimes it's like that.
It was so great. It was fantastic. Then it was Chapel Roan. If I said
Goldie
that right.
to go.
Goldie to go. GOLDOTO.
Why?
Does that work?
GO. It doesn't really work.
Okay,
Gold to go works.
Gold to go. Whatever. Then dressed up as the Maryland Terrapin when they were playing Maryland.
Yes.
I feel like, a bit of stolen valor there, but it worked out.
It's like when you go to work on Halloween and you dress up as your boss.
Yes, that's it. That's right. It's kind of like Curious George when he dressed up as the man in the yellow hat and then he won the costume contest.
I can tell you what you've been watching lately with your kids. Yes.
The Curious George Halloween Boo Fest. It's great. Then he dressed up as a tuba, like Goldie was a gold tuba.
Yep.
Then the Duolingo bird. I've already done my Spanish today. We're cool. The Duolingo.
What is his signs? What does the sign say?
I don't know. I
love that he dressed up as Duo. That's amazing.
Duolingo. Then Minecraft Goldie, which kind of looks like the Cameron Scatterboo thing that we have going.
I do like that one a lot.
Yeah, that was very good. Then Deadpool, which is Goldie Pool, I think, which is fantastic. So I think CJ Zero on Twitter said that 10% of the Minnesota athletics budget was the Goldie wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
Worth
it.
It's worth every single penny. It's so great. I loved it so much. Goldie is like, I don't necessarily want to say Goldie's underrated, but like
Goldie falls to harken back to another conversation we had. Goldie falls into that same conversation of mascots that I don't believe are people underneath. Goldie is just Goldie.
Correct.
Did you see what Puddles went as for Halloween?
No.
A minion. and ran out with a bunch of little kids dressed as minions. It was great.
Perfect.
Oregon State, very little. Cal, working through it, 44. Holy shit. The X comes into town and you show him the new car. You show him all the fun things you got. And Jaden Ott didn't even do anything in this game. He was back.
Cal deserved this. Cal earned this.
I got some theories about Cal here. All right. Cal is protesting conference realignment, or they are just quiet quitting the ACC. They're doing this because Cal has not lost an out-of-conference game yet. But Cal has not won an ACC game yet.
You can only judge a conference, we've said this before, by their out-of-conference wins, and Cal is doing their work here.
They're doing their work. Cal is 4-4 on the year, all out-of-conference wins, no wins inside conference. So they're just like, whatever, we will win, and we're protesting being in the ACC by not winning any of the games, or just losing in heartbreaking fashion.
I also did get credential to the SMU Cal game as well. I threw that on there just in case.
Why the hell not? So Cal broke stats in this game.
Yeah.
Their quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, was credited with a TD pass to himself on a play.
Let's talk
this
about
play
this.
was amazing.
Let's talk about this one because this is amazing. I love this play so much. Go.
So basically he completes a check down to the running back. And then the running back gets like swarmed on the check down. The running back sees the quarterback like over there and just basically like laterals it to the quarterback who threw it to him into the end zone. Like basically laterals it and then just run, and Mendoza runs right into the end zone. So basically he gets credited with a touchdown pass to himself on the play, but officially has 0 catches for 15 yards and a touchdown. So Cal has broken stats.
You know how baseball fans, we saw a lot of this. I saw a lot of this on the first game of the World Series. They'll keep score of their own game. They have those like books where you write down all the plays that happened, whatever. I love that football has such weird shit sometimes that when you watch people's game summaries or watch like the live stats go through, there are certain plays they type in that I'm like, I just can't possibly imagine. I can't picture what happened here. I don't know how that worked.
Yeah. I would like to take this moment to appreciate high school football stringers who have like maybe the hardest job ever.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep your own stats. And this shit is difficult.
Yes. This is wildly difficult. Actually, here in Texas, we have professionals that do that, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, they're freelancers here in PA. I was one briefly, and then I stopped doing it because keeping stats is really hard.
It is. It's incredibly hard.
I was the person that was on the varsity baseball team when I was younger, like a freshman and sophomore in high school, and I was the one that would keep score. So I had like situations like this. I would be the baseball scorer, and I was like, "Well, how do I score this weird play?" And so it's just like, "Yeah, this is like a 7-6-2 double play. How the hell is this? This doesn't make any sense." And then I had to tell the coaches the next time the person came up to bat where they hit the ball. It was just like, oh, he was the one that did that weird play that I can't really figure out how to score.
Beth isn't here to cheer about this one. West Virginia 31, Arizona 26. Beth did give me the best joke of the night.
Yeah.
Because Beth had mentioned she was watching the game and we were chatting in our group chat. And she said that if you needed some time to yourself, why not hang out in the West Virginia secondary? Because there's no one back there. You could, there's not a single person nearby. You could spend some time out there. Good friend of the show, Grueling Cod, said that he should take a writing retreat back there because no one's going to bother him.
Did you tweet that for Beth, or did Beth tweet that?
I tweeted that. Okay. That's what Beth was complaining, that I made her joke better because I just reworded it slightly. I did not make it better.
Okay. So I was like, somebody was like, West Virginia fans were like, man, if they're completely correct about this. I was like, yeah, this was from our resident West Virginia fan. So yeah, they know, again, coming from a place of love and pain.
Yes.
I will take this moment to remind the listeners, while Beth is not here to argue with me about making this factual statement, that Beth is the funniest member of the podcast, and it's not close.
Guaranteed.
No, 100%. Also, they should probably, give Neil Brown an extension based on this, since he's so good on the road.
Absolutely. Hey, my dude is out here like trying to put together a winning season, and I think you should reward him for that.
I mean, the weather's been really nice.
It has been.
I think we're all having fun.
Sunflower Showdown. Kansas State 27, Kansas 25. Sweet 16, baby. 16 in a row for the Wildcats. This is what hell looks like.
The charts.
Wait,
here.
Wait. I thought it was like 29-27.
Did I get it off slightly? I was doing this in a rush. I think I was right.
29-27.
Okay, sorry, my bad. I was off slightly.
So the Kansas State win was thanks to a safety, essentially, the margin of victory. So yeah, the Kansas State got a safety on Kansas. They stuffed Devin Neal on the one and got a safety there. So K-State again got a safety. If you got a safety this weekend in Division I, you were 5-0. So woo! Big thing. Go ahead, do the stats thing for Kansas and make every Kansas fan feel upset.
So, courtesy of our friends at RCFB's Twitter account, Kansas has a plus 43 scoring differential this year, but they're 2-6. ESPN has had them favored to win at some point in the last 20 minutes in all 6 of their game, or in every single game this year, all of their losses this year, and I guess all of their wins too. And then there's a lovely screen cap of the like ESPN like win probability charts. And oh man, do the lines ever go down or up depending on which side not Kansas is on?
They are the most snake bitten team this year by a long shot.
Yeah.
It's unpleasant. Congratulations, Kansas.
Like the least devastating of the lines here is the one from the TCU game, I think.
I think so. Because that one wasn't in control. Like they let that one get out of hand. It wasn't as bad. The other ones are heartbreaking. Truly heartbreaking.
Like the West Virginia game is just line goes down.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we have Well, this isn't the craziest one, but we'll talk about some weird MACTION. Central Michigan 7, Miami of Ohio 46. Miami just took a brick to their faces. Central Michigan's not having a good year.
Yeah.
Wake 27, Stanford 24.
You know, sometimes like you're watching a college quarterback and you just know like, oh, like they're going to throw an interception. Like, you know, like, because I think a lot of times, like, you have a college quarterback, you have a college offense, like you have a system that you run.
Yeah.
And when you get to a late game situation and you cannot run your system, and like it's like, okay, no, like you have to throw the ball downfield. Like that has to be the play. Like you can just see that deer in the headlights look. And that's what happened. I mean, like Stanford they're down 3. They got to what, like kind of the very edge of field goal range, but obviously like you're going to keep pushing. You want to get you know, either a shorter field goal to tie or maybe even win the game with a touchdown, and nope, interception.
Yeah, they got to the Wake 36 and yeah, they're on the edge to try to make that field goal a little bit easier instead of a 53 or 54 yarder. Yeah, you could feel that INT coming, and then it just finally was there for Wake, and Wake pulled it off. Wake back to 4-4 now.
Friday night, probably one of the best games I've seen this year. Boise State 29, UNLV 24. This one was a banger from top to bottom. 100%.
Banger.
This was the most attended UNLV game in history.
Yep.
This was a back and forth thing. UNLV shut down Ashton GT. By shut down, I mean only let him run for about 120 something yards, I believe it was, which is
only 120 something yards.
But do you know how they did this? They stuffed the box every time. Basically, they had 2 bodies on Ashton GT at all time, because the number that we hadn't talked about a ton, but people had mentioned, is that Ashton GT's yards after contact is insane.
Yeah.
Once he gets hit, he still goes for 4 or 5 yards.
Well, and that's why he had so many big runs and he's ran for so many yards, is that the team stacked the box. But then if you stack the box and you don't make the tackle, then suddenly you don't have anyone back to stop him either. And I mean, UNLV, they did a great job at just making the tackle.
Unfortunately, Boise State's quarterback, Maddox Madsen, can also run.
Yes. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is like UNLV, I mean, they give them credit. They came into this game, they knew they had to, you know, shut down.
They had the correct game plan. The game plan was 100% correct. Barry Odom had this ready.
Yeah, we're going to make other guys beat you, and the other guys beat them.
Yes.
But I mean, that's how it goes.
Hodge Blake Williams, the UNLV QB, was also great in this game. This was just pure G5 gold from top to bottom.
I'm going to say this. The end of the game, I know it wasn't close or whatever, but they had 2 of the best drives that you could have had Sickos committee-wise to end the game. UNLV had an 8-play, 11-yard drive in 4 minutes and 31 seconds, down 29-24. They had the punt because, you know, they it was a 4th and 25 at UNLV's 36 because they lost a few yards there. But then Boise did the run the clock out drive to end the game.
Yes.
They had a 14-play, 48-yard drive, 8 minutes and 7 seconds, just salted the game away.
Yeah.
The entire rest of the clock.
It was the best clock eating drive I've seen in a while. With no weirdness. They just had the game plan. They did it. It was great. Executed extremely well. Boise State moves into the driver's position for that G5 spot, like whatever we want to call that spot.
Yeah.
I think that this is probably going to be a rematch of the Mountain West Cup championship game. And I am so excited to see this again. Washington State 29, San Diego State 24. Let's just talk about the Wazzu punter who took swingings, because
it was 29-26, by the way.
26. Okay, not fingered some stuff.
No, it's okay.
Typing is hard.
Tell me about the punter who tried to square off.
Okay, so Washington State gets a touchdown on like John Mateer, of course, 2-yard run, and then they do like the Pullman special because they almost messed up the Philly special. Like Mateer was so wide open and then the person running it to him didn't throw it for forever. So like the ball was like underthrown, but he was still so wide open. He got the
Gotcha.
2-point conversion to make it 29-26. This field, I'm gonna make a comment about this field. And USC's field also incredibly sandy.
They both looked like they were playing on painted dirt.
It was a golf course that they just did the aeration on.
Yeah.
Where they just put the sand on the green and everything was aerated. Every step, just sand coming up like it was like rain puddles. It was insane how much sand was on this field. And I'm sure California's in some sort of drought or whatever. And they just can't, whatever. Gonna give a shout out to the punter, Janikowski. Not related to the real Janikowski, but Dean Janikowski, the punter. Basically, they got a roughing the punter to seal the game for Wazzu. But then the San Diego State guy that roughed him, he tried to fight him.
Yes.
And he got an unnecessary roughness penalty along with the guy that also tried to fight him after the roughing. So like it was the punter.
We love our punters who try to take out people.
Squaring up with each other. It's just like,
we stand a fighty punter.
Got that Janikowski blood, even though it's no relation, but just the name there. It's just like you want to fight the punter. Like it just Coach Jake Dickert was like yelling at the punter after, like, what are you doing here? And then they got away with it. They still were able to kneel it after that, and they got the first down, and it was over because it was an after the play foul.
Yeah.
So the roughing the punter gives them Wazzu the first down, and then the two like after the play unsportsmanlike conduct. Just the punter's just like, fine, you're gonna rough me, I'm gonna rough you.
Yeah, I think the punter should be allowed to fight, actually.
Yes, he should be. Punter should always be allowed to fight.
Yeah. It's like when goalies get in fights. Like, just let it happen. It's fine.
The goalie goal in the NHL is rare, but the goalie versus goalie fight is even more rare, I think.
Yeah, because they're not near each other.
They're not near each other, but like when that happens, it's NHL or whatever. Sickos on ice magic right there.
Mm-hmm. Every once in a while you get like a goalie trying to fight a non-goalie too. That shit is also art. Like, just let them fight. It's fine.
Yes.
They've earned it.
Temple 34, East Carolina at 56. Got the recently fired coach bump. ECU dropped 29 points in the third quarter.
Yeah, there was a moment in this game where I saw the score go by and Temple was winning, and I was like, 3-win Temple?
Yeah, Temple was up at half. And then I don't know what the hell happened in the third quarter, but ECU just went off. 29 points. And they won it like 56-34. Crazy.
Yeah.
BYU 37, UCF 24. One of I think my favorite fake play from today was the between the legs snap back. Yes. It was great.
If the person that the kicker would threw it, there was a wide open person for BYU, but he just decided to like
went for the first. Yeah. That was
he was first down. That's fine. The dude was wide open, but like, just don't throw it. Take the first, whatever.
Take the first. TCU 34. Sorry, Texas Tech 34. TCU 35. Yes. This one, buddy. Texas Tech going from like we're having a pretty good season to just hitting every branch on the way down here. Jesus.
Texas Tech undefeated in the Big 12, and then they've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, this game, I mean, it was really back and forth. Like, it kind of felt like you wanted to have the ball last, but Texas Tech, they were driving down 1 right on the TCU 27, and they're kind of at the point where they will, just kind of run it to set up the field goal, right? You want to kill clock. Or I guess make TCU burn timeouts to stop you from killing clock. Just run the ball up the middle, get it in a good spot for the kick, and they fumbled. Who knows if the kicker would have made it? I don't really think too much of their kicker, but like that cost them the game right there. And that's just the way college football is sometimes. Sometimes you do everything right and then you fumble.
Texas Tech fumbled on their final 2 drafts, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the last one was like they were trying to like pitch it to everyone.
Yeah, the pitch
I
boo
was
boo.
I was hoping there because they were like pitching from very
Deep.
far in their own
Like at their
side of
own
the field.
23. Yeah.
I was really hoping we would either get a safety
Yeah.
or a defensive touchdown.
It was a
with all the
possibility of it.
pitches.
Yeah.
Like it was real close. It was
Yep.
real close to it. And it's funny too because the safety would have made it look like a normal like 3-point margin,
Yeah.
or like a defensive touchdown would have made it be like, oh, they won by 7 or something. Like it would have really
Yeah.
obscured
Would
what
mess
this game
everything up.
was. And but they TCU fell on it inside the 5. I think it was like they tried to start pitching the football and it just went backward.
Yep.
Tulane 45, North Texas 37. This is a really good game. Like Tulane held it close.
This game was weird though, because I am as we've established previously on this podcast, I'm not a quad box person. I'm a person who has cable, who flips channels. And I checked in on this game and it was like maybe early second quarter and Tulane was just beating that ass.
Yeah.
Like UNT's whole thing is like they score a lot of points, they have no defense, but they hadn't figured out how to score a lot of points yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not how I expected this game to go. And then I didn't look at it again. And then I saw the score afterwards and I was like,
No, the score is the game wasn't this close. It was 45-24.
Okay.
Going into the fourth, and then like North Texas got 2 touchdowns, one with like 4 minutes left and another with like 40 seconds left.
Okay, so it's like it
was a little bit of garbage time-ish for North Texas, but Tulane won. Bowl eligible Tulane 6-2. Tulane's only 2 losses: Oklahoma and K-State at this point.
Okay,
so
really good season for first year coach there, John Summerall.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We head into our other G5 games. I guess not. Some of them, who knows? ULM 17, South Alabama 46. Okay, that's fine. Still at 5 wins. We're good here. ULM had it at the half.
Yeah.
And then it got out of hand.
This was one where I kind of knew it was over. When ULM got a safety on, like a bad safety. Like this is not like it was close. Like it was like a 30-yard out safety, 40-yard out safety.
No, I went and found it. It was not great.
No, it was not a good one. But ULM still leading at half, 17-12. Then South Al takes the lead 19-17. And then like ULM, 1 play interception. And I'm like, okay, this is it. It's done. And then, again, South Al extends, then extends again. ULM could have cut the lead back in. Again, there's nothing. They just couldn't score anything in the second half. They turned the ball over on downs, and interception. So like ULM went down swinging.
They did.
Like they didn't do the crap, let me just punt and give it back to you and we give up thing. They went down swinging. So I mean, this fine. I didn't feel like they would win this game winning on the road in Mobile. But South Howell gets their first win on a Saturday. So I want to give a shout out to the one that I think you had marked earlier. Arkansas State beats Troy last second. Troy like came back and took the lead, like a big comeback on Arkansas State, but then Arkansas State still freaking wins it in improbable fashion, 34-31, which apparently Arkansas State are the cardiac Red Wolves. I'm calling my shot now. ULM gets bowl eligibility by breaking the Arkansas State streak.
Okay.
In Jonesboro.
Notre Dame 51, Navy 14. Well, Navy, it was fun while it lasted, wasn't it? We had some great times. You're still a great team. Army, you're up next.
Navy, why did you give Notre Dame the ball so many times?
They were in a giving mood.
It was 7 fumbles.
They're passing out candy.
You know how many
7 fumbles
they had before to that game?
0. Mean reversion really coming for you, I guess. No, this was another one of the ones that I caught while I was channel flipping, and I saw the first of the fumbles. and it was a mistimed pitch. And that's how you know things aren't going to go well for Navy.
When that doesn't work, when that fundamental bit doesn't work, it's not going to, guys.
Nope.
Yeah, I saw a stat that so this game, of course, was played at MetLife Stadium. That Notre Dame is now the 2024 leader in MetLife Stadium touchdowns
over the Giants and Jets.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, New York, your team's doing well. Your college football team, of course. Louisville 31, Boston College 27. This was a great Friday night game. The Friday night slate was actually really packed. This was good. Boston College went up 20-0, and this is what Boston College does. They get up and then this was
They did this against Virginia. Like they went out to a big lead and then they're trying to coast to victory and they just can't get it back in gear. Like BC has a great start. And it reminded me when I got a lot of speeding tickets when I was in high school. And I was first at the stoplight. So I would just I would like accelerate as fast as possible to get to the speed limit. And then just to get away from everybody else. And then I would just sit at the speed limit because I couldn't afford to get another ticket because I was on probation or whatever.
I've never heard this story. This is new information about you. I like this.
Yeah, I think it was my second ticket in high school, which I think it was 6 months probation if I got another ticket or something like that. Which was
ooh,
it was
they were playing.
So it was just okay, I'm first at the light and I'm driving my 1990 Toyota Corolla, and this is BC football because it was maroon, and I jokingly called this the luxury car, and it had a parachute roof because the roof was hanging down.
Yeah.
The dome light was the only thing holding up the roof that was sagging.
Yep.
My luxury car with a clear coat, just peeling. It was so yeah. Basically, what I would do is I would if I was first at the light, I would gun it to get to the 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, and then everybody else could pass me. It's why is he at the speed limit? I'm I can't go faster. I can't get another ticket. I don't want to go. Whatever. It was only I think second or third ticket, whatever. But I a little bit of reckless in the 1990 Toyota Corolla.
Apparently so, Jesus.
And that's BC. I like how BC had a chance to win this on a Hail Mary with Doug Flutie in the crowd. It didn't. And then they as soon as the Hail Mary was lining up, there's a timeout, and it's Doug Flutie, here's his jersey. I'm are they gonna do it? Is there gonna be the Hail Mary? It was no Hail Mary. Sorry.
No, not at all. In MACTION, we had some really crazy stuff going on. Eastern Michigan and Akron. Akron wins this one 25-21. Akron was up 18-0 at half. Eastern goes 21 straight points and leads it with after a 99-yard 12-play drive halfway through the fourth. And then Akron scores late and they hang on to win over our beloved Eagles. So Eastern goes down.
Go Zips.
But the real banger was the Battle of I-75. By the way, I need to say something. Did we talk about this on the podcast last time where the rocket actually isn't aimed at Bowling Green
we gotta
anymore?
correct it. Somebody in our Discord corrected it.
Apparently it's not. People have done the math and it's not pointed there anymore.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
It's the angle is off now. They changed it in 89 and 90, but the Toledo website has not updated this. So
they got to change it back then.
They got to change it back.
This game was great. It was back and forth the whole game. Bowling Green wins this one 41 over Toledo 26. This was close. This looks way further apart than it was. It was close through the third, and then it opened up a little bit.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter.
What was the social media trolling? I didn't see this.
Oh my God, the social media trolling. So there was a Bowling Green video on Instagram, and they posted it on Twitter too. But there's a Toledo rocket that's about to launch, and it's just a rocket, and they put Toledo, and then they put a Bowling Green logo that came down on the top of the rocket, and then the rocket.
Gotcha.
And then they threw the glasses on the Bowling Green thing, the deal with it glasses onto it. It was amazing. It was fantastic.
That is the most millennial coded meme I've seen in a long time. I love it.
I will say it was a video. It was great. Great stuff by the Bowling Green social media team. My favorite MACTION of the day was the Bronze Stalk. The Battle of the Bronze Stalk.
Ball State wins this one 25-23 over Northern Illinois.
Incredible. So Ball State in this game, they had the longest non-scoring drive of the week. They went 16 plays, 60 yards in 10 minutes and 5 seconds. Got
nothing for their trouble.
They got nothing. It ended in a punt, but the punt was the quarterback pooch punted from the 37-yard line, and the ball landed at the 2-yard line. So give a shout out to Hustle Belt on Twitter, and he goes, "That's football, baby." So it was they were on the 37-yard line. It was kind of no man's land, right? So this is what happens in the fourth, towards the end of the game here. Ball State leads 22-14 in the fourth. NIU gets a late touchdown. They missed a 2-point conversion. Then they throw an interception. They block Ball State's field goal. They hit a 47-yarder with 15 seconds left, pretty much guaranteeing the win for NIU, right? There's 15 seconds left. However, Ball State goes 3 plays at 39 yards in 11 seconds, and they hit a 52-yarder for the win with 2 seconds left to win the Bronze Stalk. They get 39 yards in 11 seconds to win the Bronze Stalk. Ball State
I'm going to drop the win probability chart in the chat because y'all need to see this one. It's real good.
Insane. It is insane. I cannot believe, like, when NIU hit that, it was still in the quad box for me, but like, I looked away. I put the sound on another game, and then I looked back and I was like, holy shit, how did Ball State win this?
Oh my God, the line.
Yes, the line.
Look at the line.
The line goes, it jumps up.
Line go up and then line go down.
Like 100% Ball State, 100% NIU, 100% Ball State. It's so good.
Line go line.
It was nuts. I love that Ball State has a bunch of transitive wins now.
It opens up a whole bunch.
Oh my God, the transitive window. But that is the MACTION of the day right there. That was incredible MACTION. Bronze Stalk in Muncie. Some folks, like Ball State fans, were like, we need the committee to come to Muncie. I was like, I'm there. I will be planted at the Culvers right next to campus in Muncie, and eating some cheese curds and butter burgers. Let's go.
Charlotte 28, Memphis 33. Biff's boys almost pull off the upset against Memphis.
Memphis got a game-sealing safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a wild,
Again, 5-0, you get a safety this week. So yeah, South Alabama got one. Memphis gets one to seal it, which is weird.
Penn State 28, Wisconsin 13. Drew Aller went out at half, and now they're going to roll into Ohio State all banged up.
Sure.
This may not go for them.
Yeah, I feel like that's not going to go well. Wisconsin was in this until they threw like a really, 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 really bad pick, like the worst pick.
It was a pick that there are some picks that just feel like a dagger. This was one of those.
Yeah.
This kills the Badger.
Yeah, like it's one thing when you throw, like, I feel like a lot of those like Kyle McCord picks were like tried to fit it into a window and it was tipped and then it like went in the air and like it happened to. There happened to be a
Pitt player lying on his stomach directly under the ball, for example.
Yeah. Like, I feel like this Wisconsin pick, it's like, it's one of those picks where you're like, man, like, was he trying to do that? Like, the only receiver there, like, is the defensive back. Like, I don't know what the hell that was, In
all the wildness of the pick game, we didn't even mention that fucking pick where the dude was on his stomach. And it just landed in his hands.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the one in the first half of the game that did not end in a pick six. But it did end in a field goal.
He was already on the floor.
Yes.
Oklahoma 14, Ole Miss 26. There was a squirrel at the game. That's the most interesting thing that happened there.
Touchdown squirrel. Touchdown squirrel.
I tweeted that the squirrel was even doing the Ole Miss faking injuries thing. Because the squirrel stopped at the 17, and then the commentators were like, are we going to have to revive the squirrel? And then the squirrel like got back up and then scored a touchdown. I was like, yep, there you go. Ole Miss squirrel.
LSU 23, Texas A&M 38. This was a great game. A&M's coach, his quarterback, Connor Wegman, got pulled in the third quarter, and then Marcel Reed came in. A&M decided just to run the ball. Marcel Reed threw 2 passes. Mm-hmm. They just ran the ball, and they ran all the fuck over LSU. That's all they needed. It was like a shot in the arm. It was great.
That was enough.
But the real story here is who's partying in the stands. Because, baby.
Party in section 336, folks.
Baby, we found some cocaine up in section 336. I just imagine someone taking a bump off their finger and woo!
How out of hand do you have to be for stadium security in, I assume, the 300 section at Kyle Field? Listeners, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm imagining this as being like an upper deck section.
It's one of those real steep sections, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like how out of hand do you have to be for stadium security to notice that you're doing coke?
Oh, somebody narked on this guy. This is A&M. This is a total narc thing.
I mean, I'm just trying to think, like, who out there is like, you know what, college football, not doing it for me. I need cocaine.
Just get drunk like everyone else.
I need to experience Kyle Field on coke.
My other favorite one from the Texas A&M police Twitter feed: subject in wrong seat tried to fight subject who had ticket for seat. Ejected.
Then there was the other one that was like, subject intoxicated, released a sober friend. Subject intoxicated, could not find sober friend. Sent to jail. Yeah, it was arrested. I was like, and then you were like, hug your sober friend.
Love your sober friend.
Love your sober friend.
All respect to the sober friend.
Yes.
The one I saw like a few weeks ago was intoxicated released to sober wife.
Oh, nope. Yeah, nope. Leave me in jail. Leave me the fucking jail. I would
rather go to jail.
At some point on the podcast, maybe on a Patreon pod, I'll talk about the night that I got so drunk in DC, I ended up at Washington Reagan Hospital after I'd gotten engaged to my wife. And I don't remember how I got there.
Oh, no.
I started calling, I told my wife I was at GW, which is where Reagan Hospital is, it's toward Washington University. And she was like, he went to a goddamn frat party, got drunk. And it was like, no, I'm at the hospital. And I was laying in the hospital being like, I'm so sorry. I love you. Please don't leave me. She's like, there are real hurt people here, you asshole. Just shut up and suffer in silence. Washington 17, Indiana 31. Indiana has still not trailed. They are real.
Dude, Hoosiers.
Indiana's legit, and that's all I have to say about this.
I like that, Indiana has gotten so good now that, they won this game, and it doesn't really, change things that much, because it's we already kind of factor that in, right? So, if you look at the FPI projection that I've been pulling up with Indiana, they're now 68.6% chance to make the playoff, according to this.
Round up.
We should. And 3.6% chance to win the national championship game.
AP poll did not move them. They are stuck at 13th.
I don't understand that.
It's fine. I think it's fine.
It'll sort itself out.
It will.
There are pieces of Pitt internet that are very mad about Pitt's current AP ranking, and I'm like, no, it's fine.
Who cares about the AP poll?
What
because also this shit is
19.
all getting reset
19
once the once the
matters 7-0
college football actual rankings come out.
Yeah.
None of this AP stuff matters.
It
will not matter.
There's that, and also I'm happy to not get too much hype, because if you get too much hype, that scares it.
Yeah, and I will also
don't look at us.
I also just want to say about Indiana, and this is going to touch on a game that we might get to later. We might run out of time, so I'm just going to say it right now. Indiana had a lot less trouble with Nebraska than Ohio State did.
That's true.
I said on the preview show, this was going to be a good data point here. And I think it was. SMU 28, Duke 27. We need to talk about the block kick. Because
we have a lot of things we got to talk about.
A lot of things we got to talk about this game.
Okay.
We have 6 things we have to talk about before we get to the blocked kick.
Yeah.
And that is that SMU turned over the ball 6 fucking times in this game, and Duke scored 0 points off of those turnovers.
This is
How?
This is the last 8 drives that SMU had before the block kick, right? This is the last 8 drives that SMU had before they blocked that field goal to send it into OT. SMU had an interception, a fumble, a turnover on downs, a touchdown, a punt, an interception, a fumble. It
was so bad.
If you could,
it was so bad.
SMU tried to give this game away to Duke 6 different times. 3 straight times, but then like SMU was like, no, I am going to block this field goal and we're going to OT.
I need to show you the block because I found this video of it. Someone had posted. I need you to keep an eye on the blocker. Okay. There's no sound. So we're just gonna have to talk. I'll talk over it. Mm-hmm. The dude stationary jumps over Duke's O-line.
Yep.
And blocks it straight up.
Like blocked it with his forearm, not even his hand.
Didn't even need to he could have done it without jumping, but the dude stationary jumped over the line. That is amazing. As someone who can barely do a box jump, that shit's amazing.
So that's what box jumps are for, to blocking field goals. So when recruiting, you need to have special teamers do box jumps for you. Because if you do the jump, but then you touch like any of the linemen or whatever, that's a penalty for leaping. So
you can't push off your own guys, and you can't push off of their.
I don't even think you can.
This was the only legal way to do it.
I think there used to be a rule where you can't take more than 2 steps, but like they did it from like
you can't do a running jump either.
Did it from like a 3-point stance, which is incredible.
Wild shit.
Yeah,
and we have ranked Pitt, ranked SMU on Saturday night.
Duke,
hey! You got to save this for the Tuesday pod.
No, but like Duke, SMU scores the touchdown, and then Duke said, "Fuck it, we're going for 2." After they tied it, and they died on their sword, on their Blue Devil pitchfork.
They did. I respect Duke coming back as a kebab.
Yeah,
because that is the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Come back with your shield or on it, your choice.
True.
No, come back with your sword or on it. I want kebabs.
Okay. Duke kebab. Got it. Wasn't Duke kebab? No, Duke kaboom was the knockoff. Yes. Was the knockoff Duke Nukem. Got it.
Yes.
Cincinnati 23, Colorado 34. Bowl eligible Colorado. It's always funny to me that we have now hit the point that no one really feels like talking about Colorado, except Colorado is now quietly being pretty good.
Yeah, so Stephen Godfrey of a NFL podcast we all listen to is absolutely correct in that the fact that we're all exhausted of Colorado is the mainstream media's fault.
Yeah, of course it is.
If we had all shut up about Colorado last year, we would be talking about them being good. But no, we had to do the Deion hype cycle when they actually sucked. So here we are.
Sorry, give me 1 sec. Arthur, cut the silence out.
I don't know. I might leave it.
You mean to tell me the listeners don't like silence?
Well, so here's the problem with that. You can cut this part too. But the problem with that is that I listen to it on Overcast.
So do I.
I don't know how much silence there is until I listen to it on Spotify. And holy shit, there's some huge silences in there. Folks, Texas 27, Vandy 24.
No, we're not doing this.
Over Vandy? You're doing this over Vandy?
You don't get to stunt on Vandy.
You're trying to stunt on Vandy?
Okay, couldn't you have hit the button and made all the bad sounding noises happen instead of silence? You didn't have to. You had silence and then you waited just to do that.
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna say, oh no, what a bad idea.
Hold up, no, I shut it off. Let's see if it works. Does that work?
No.
Not really.
Okay, hold up. I have to fucking reduce my.
Much better.
Yeah, there we go.
So, folks, Texas wins this one. Actually, I'm going to argue here that the score is significantly more close than the game actually was. Texas had this one. Vandy kept it close through just sheer trying to will this thing into existence. Diego Pavia didn't have a great game.
Turn the ball over twice.
Yeah, that. But also Vandy Diego Pavia threw 2 interceptions. That also hurt them. This was a great game. It was good. Texas beat Vandy. That's all I needed. Because you know what's next, right? Vandy goes to Auburn.
The preview show.
Go, Diego, go.
Mm-hmm. Miami 36, Florida State 14.
I really wanted to believe that this was going to be the Miami fraud watch game, but my watch continues.
Your watch will continue for a bit.
This had maybe one of my favorite plays of the weekend, which was Miami, or it was Florida State trying to get 1 yard and ended up getting 40.
42 on like a tush push.
They shoved the quarterback forward, and
it's so ridiculous.
They could have whistled forward progress at any point. They chose not to.
Yeah.
And he just escapes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
the whistle, kids.
Yeah, Miami 8-0. They have a bye. They play Duke this weekend.
They do.
Then they have Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and then Syracuse. So I don't know where the fraud's coming. Probably against. It'd be funny if Manny gets them.
It would be very funny if Manny gets them.
I'm thinking in the Dome on November 30th.
Honestly,
not a Friday.
Like Syracuse looked like hot garbage this weekend, but I don't think they are actually that bad.
No.
It's just that good.
That's right.
Kyle McCord just had a really bad day. I've seen Kyle McCord do so many great things. It was just a very bad day.
He got lost on all the bridges in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Whom among us?
I almost did.
Nebraska 17, Ohio State 21. Hey, Nebraska, I'm sorry, guys. Nebraska fans were just in shambles on this one.
This was another one where you get to a certain part of the game where suddenly you have to change the offense you're running, and your offense is just not up for it.
Yeah.
The Nebraska, they got the pass completion plus targeting that did like move the ball, kind of try to kickstart their drive, but I mean they couldn't get any. It was weird because they hadn't been terrible at moving the ball in most of the game, but just when it mattered, Ohio State's defense messed up. I don't know what the play calling Nebraska was doing but they just it was not happening in crunch time.
Jordan, can you get this Gus Johnson audio in here? I want to hear it for the Nebraska made field goal.
While Jordan looks for that, I would like to appreciate
got the link there.
The moment Arthur just mentioned with the targeting, just to appreciate Ryan Day's deep rage about that.
Yeah.
We got to see Ryan Day throw his headset. Just so much anger.
It was
so
great.
angry.
He wasn't the only one throwing stuff.
Give his get back coach a raise, because he held Ryan Day back enough that he didn't take it. He was going after the ref. I was going to take a swing, but he was getting ready to get flagged for something, and his get back coach got him out there.
He only got a sideline warning for that, and he should not have only gotten a sideline warning for that, TBH. But
here's the Gus Johnson call on this is a field goal.
Have someone back to try to return this kick from 50. Hole. Ha ha! Got it!
Got it!
I need you to clip that and put that on the board. Yes.
Got it.
And I was like, how do we get Gus Johnson to do yes?
Just wait. It'll happen on its
It'll
own.
happen. Gus, you got to do it for us.
And then I do want to mention Illinois 9, Oregon 28.
Do we have to?
No,
yeah.
Really.
Oregon had 38. But
38.
Yes.
38. Okay. Sorry. I was typing this and fat thinking some stuff. There were really good. There were 3 overtime winners in FCS that I do want to talk about.
Oh my God. So
Big
great.
Sky, Sac State 27, Idaho State 30 in Holt. Yeah. This one was super close all game long and was an absolute banger.
Big win for Idaho State.
I watched the end of South Dakota State. This would have been South Dakota's first win in Brookings since the year 2000, I believe.
In the year 2000.
South Dakota 17, South Dakota State 20. South Dakota State wins it in overtime, and it was chaos. It was great. This was a great game.
Yeah, South Dakota had a shot to win it
Had
in
so many shots.
regulation. They had a field goal attempt. I believe I can look it up right now. It's a 46-yarder that they missed to send the game to overtime.
The thing that happened before that is that the South Dakota quarterback took a sack and knocked them further back. And it was just like South Dakota just kept shooting themselves in the foot. And they got like inside the Jackrabbits 10, could not do anything there. They did get a random scoop and score on one of the most perfect fumbles that you could ever see to tie the game.
Yes.
Which like it was one of those like punch fumbles, and it went right to the defensive player who just like ran it in, return for a touchdown. Like, you know, I guess you can call that a thick six too. But yeah, South Dakota the Coyotes had every chance to win this game, but they just could not break the Brookings curse.
And then Youngstown State, unranked, takes down ranked North Dakota.
This red and green matchup was amazing, by the way.
Yeah, it looked really good.
It was so good.
This one was also basically punch for punch the entire game.
Yeah, and North Dakota went for 2 in the win, and they didn't get it, but like I think it would have been illegal touching if the lineman would have caught it anyway.
Yeah, that it wasn't. Yeah, it didn't feel like it was going to.
The lineman was like, "Catch this? Should I not catch this?" But there was really nobody else there, so it was just like the lineman. Edvin messed up. Is like, "Hey, no illegal touching. We can't count this," and you lose the game. But it wound up going incomplete. And the Penguins win it.
The Penguins.
That's right.
And then Commish, our beloved Sycamore. Oh, sorry, no. Youngstown State.
What?
Youngstown State beats. Oh no, we just talked about that. Sorry, my brain.
We just talked about.
Sorry, and then my brain ticked.
Yeah.
What happened to our beloved Sycamores at Indiana State?
So Indiana State, our beloved Sickomores, were down 17-0 to Southern Illinois, the Salukis. They get a pick six and make it 17-7. Then they drive like 90 some odd yards. They get a touchdown. Then they come all the way back on their homecoming game and they win 21-17. Our beloved Sickomores with a huge comeback, huge Missouri Valley Conference win. Shout out to Indiana State and our Sycamores with this victory, this improbable victory for them, which, I mean, incredible comeback victory because it was all in the second half.
Last two games I want to mention are because of some of our fandoms here. Dartmouth 24, Columbia 21. Dartmouth out to a big lead. Columbia came back. That sucked.
Yeah, 6-0 Dartmouth.
Yes, 6-0 Dartmouth. Heading into hate week against Harvard.
I'm just thinking about the fact that like it's Dartmouth Harvard is hate week. That feels very like Penn State trying to get Ohio State Senpai to notice them.
It is.
Okay.
It 100% is. It's little brother syndrome. 100%.
Okay.
Coaches have gotten extensions for 1 in 9 seasons where they beat Harvard. It's fine.
Fair enough.
The Teal Tomcats go down to number 9, D3 number 9, Grove City, 59-7. All my homies hate Grove City.
Shout out to Fair State for winning the Acron. They beat the crap out of Grand Valley State.
Out of number 1 Grand Valley State.
Number 1 Grand Valley State. And that's 2 weeks in a row. The D2 team, number 1 D2 team has went down. Harding did bounce back with a big win. But I think Fair State maybe, I don't know. I haven't seen the D3 poll or D2 poll this year.
There's not one out yet.
Oh, it'll come out on Monday. Okay. So
the Valdosta State folks are saying that it's going to be them, but I don't know if that's the case.
We'll see. I have one other weird stat because in last week in the Sicko Substack, when we do the Substack for the weird stats, the Elon Phoenix dominated that Substack last week. With like longest punts, longest drives, like just crazy. The Elon was all about that in the Substack last week. They had one of the weirdest drives of the week. They had a 9-play drive that took 5 minutes and 49 seconds, and they only went 20 yards, and they had the punt.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, I can't tweet about Elon because like so many people have him muted. Like the word Elon.
You'll never see it.
You'll never see it. But the funny thing is, I tweeted it. I posted it on like Blue Sky, and I said that, and everybody was laughing. I was like, "Ha ha!" They have that all muted. Just like,
folks, that is the end of our Week 9 summary. We will see you guys for our Week 10 preview on Thursday.
ha ha!